The black ship floated in the cold darkness of space. It was silent, but inside, the crew worked hard. Captain Nathan Carter stood on the bridge, looking at the large screen in front of him. His face was tired, but his eyes were sharp. He knew the battle was not over yet. The ship was damaged. The metal walls shook now and then from small explosions in different parts of the ship. The lights flickered, and some screens were broken. The crew moved quickly, trying to fix what they could. Every person knew that if they failed, they would not see home again. Commander Lydia Warren stood beside Nathan. She was calm, but inside, she felt fear. She looked at the screen and saw the enemy ships in the distance. They were large, dark, and deadly. The enemy was waiting, knowing the black ship was weak. Lydia turned to Nathan. "We cannot fight them like this," she said. "Our weapons are low, and our shields are almost gone." Nathan nodded. He knew she was right. The enemy was strong, and they had many ships. The black ship was alone. There would be no help coming. Nathan took a deep breath. He needed to find a way to survive. Lieutenant Jason Bradley ran into the bridge. His face was covered in sweat and dirt. "Captain, the engines are failing," he said. "We do not have much time." Nathan turned to Jason. "How long?" he asked. Jason looked at a broken screen. "Maybe an hour," he said. "Maybe less." Nathan closed his eyes for a moment. An hour was not enough. He turned to Lydia. "We need a plan," he said. Lydia thought for a moment. "The asteroid belt," she said. "If we can reach it, we can hide." Nathan looked at the screen. The asteroid belt was far, but it was their only chance. The enemy would not follow them inside. It was too dangerous. Nathan turned to Jason. "Can you give us power for one last jump?" he asked. Jason hesitated. "It will be risky," he said, "but I can try." Nathan nodded. "Do it," he said. "We have no choice." Jason ran out of the bridge, shouting orders to his team. The crew worked fast, trying to keep the ship alive. Sparks flew from broken wires, and smoke filled the hallways. People coughed but kept moving. They all knew what was at stake. Lydia looked at Nathan. "If this does not work," she started. Nathan finished her sentence. "Then we die," he said, "but we will not give up." Lydia nodded. She admired Nathan's strength. He always found a way to fight, even when things looked impossible. The enemy ships started moving closer. They were waiting for the black ship to make a mistake. Nathan watched them carefully. He needed to time this perfectly. "Jason, now," he shouted. The ship shook as the engines roared to life. The black ship turned sharply and sped toward the asteroid belt. The enemy ships fired their weapons, and the black ship trembled under the impact. Sparks flew, and alarms rang loudly. Nathan held onto his chair as the ship moved faster. The asteroids came closer. They were large and deadly, floating like silent giants in space. One wrong move, and the ship would be destroyed. The enemy ships stopped. They did not follow. Nathan sighed in relief. They had made it, but they were not safe yet. "Power down," Nathan ordered. "Make us look dead." Lydia nodded and pressed some buttons. The ship became quiet. The lights dimmed, and the engines stopped. It was dark, and only the sound of heavy breathing filled the bridge. The enemy ships waited outside the asteroid belt. They knew the black ship was inside. They would wait. But for now, Nathan and his crew had bought some time. Nathan leaned back in his chair. He knew the fight was not over, but at least they had a chance. He looked at Lydia, Jason, and the rest of the crew. They were tired, but they were alive. "We will find a way," he said. "We always do." The black ship was silent. The crew held their breath. Outside, the enemy ships waited. They knew the black ship was inside the asteroid belt, but they did not follow. It was too dangerous. The asteroids moved slowly, turning in the dark space. Some were small, but some were huge, big enough to crush a ship. Nathan sat in his chair. His face was tired, but his mind was sharp. He looked at the screen. It showed the enemy ships waiting outside. They were patient. They had time. But the black ship did not. Lydia stood beside him. She crossed her arms. "We cannot stay here forever," she said. Nathan nodded. "I know," he said. "But if we move now, they will destroy us." Jason entered the bridge. His hands were covered in oil. He wiped his face. "Engines are still weak," he said. "We can move, but not far." Nathan thought for a moment. "How long until full power?" Jason shook his head. "Maybe hours, maybe more." Nathan sighed. "We do not have hours." The ship was dark. Many lights were off to save power. The air was heavy with smoke. Some crew members sat on the floor, resting. Others worked to fix broken parts. Everyone was tired. But they knew they had to keep going. Lydia looked at Nathan. "We need a plan." Nathan nodded. "We need to trick them." Jason frowned. "Trick them? How?" Nathan stood up. He pointed at the screen. "We need to make them think we are still here, but we will not be." Lydia raised an eyebrow. "A decoy?" Nathan nodded. "Yes. We can use one of our escape pods. We send it out slowly. We make it look like we are trying to leave. The enemy will attack it. While they are busy, we move the ship." Jason rubbed his chin. "That might work, but we need to be fast. If they notice us, we are finished." Nathan looked at Lydia. "Can you program the escape pod? Make it look like a ship?" Lydia nodded. "I can try." Nathan smiled. "Good. Let's do it." Lydia and Jason left the bridge. They moved quickly. Time was short. They reached the pod bay. The escape pod was small, but it would do. Lydia worked on the controls. She changed the signals. The enemy would see the pod and think it was the black ship. Jason checked the engines. They were still weak, but they had no choice. Lydia pressed a button. "It's ready," she said. Nathan's voice came through the radio. "Send it out." Lydia nodded. She pressed another button. The pod moved out of the ship, slowly drifting through the asteroids. The enemy ships saw it. They moved closer. Nathan watched the screen. The enemy ships were moving. They believed the trick. He turned to Jason. "Now, move the ship." Jason ran to the engine controls. He pressed the buttons. The black ship moved, slowly at first, then faster. The asteroids were close. Nathan gripped his chair. One wrong move, and they would crash. The enemy ships fired at the escape pod. It exploded. Smoke and fire filled space. The enemy did not see the black ship slipping away. Lydia held her breath. Did it work? Nathan watched the screen. The enemy ships were still looking at the explosion. They did not see the black ship. He smiled. It worked. Jason let out a breath. But we are not safe yet. Nathan nodded. No, but we have a chance. The black ship kept moving. The asteroid belt was almost behind them. But then an alarm rang. Lydia looked at the screen. Her face turned pale. One of the enemy ships is coming this way. Nathan's heart pounded. Do they see us? Lydia shook her head. I don't know. But they are close. Jason checked the engines. We do not have the speed to run. Nathan clenched his fists. Then we hide. Find a large asteroid. Keep us in its shadow. Jason moved the ship behind a big dark rock. The enemy ship came closer. It was slow, scanning the area. If they looked too closely, they would see the black ship. The crew stayed silent. No one moved. They watched the enemy ship. It was only a few miles away. Too close. Nathan held his breath. If they were found, it would be the end. Minutes passed. The enemy ship turned. It moved away. Lydia exhaled. They did not see us. Nathan smiled. Not this time. Jason wiped his forehead. That was too close. Nathan nodded. Yes, but we are still alive. The black ship stayed in the shadows. The enemy was still looking, but for now, they were safe. Nathan looked at Lydia and Jason. We need a new plan. We cannot run forever. Lydia nodded. Then we fight. Nathan smiled. Yes, we fight. The black ship stayed hidden behind a large asteroid. The enemy ships were still searching. They moved slowly, scanning the area. Nathan sat in his chair, watching the screen. His face was calm, but his mind was racing. They had escaped for now, but they needed a new plan. Lydia stood beside him. We cannot hide forever, she said. Nathan nodded. I know, but if we move now, they will see us. Jason checked the engines. Power is still low, he said. We cannot outrun them. Nathan thought for a moment. We need to distract them again. Lydia frowned. Another decoy. Nathan shook his head. No, something different. He pointed at the asteroid field. We can use the rocks. If we make one of them move, the enemy might think it is us. Jason looked at the screen. That could work, but how do we move an asteroid? Nathan turned to Lydia. Can we use our ship's weapons? Lydia thought for a moment. If we fire at a small rock, the explosion might push a bigger one. Nathan nodded. Do it. Lydia aimed carefully. She selected a small asteroid and fired. The explosion was small, but it was enough. The force pushed a bigger rock, making it move through space. The enemy ships noticed. They turned toward the moving asteroid. They thought it was the black ship trying to escape. Nathan smiled. It worked. Jason checked the radar. They are moving away. Nathan looked at Lydia. Now is our chance. Move the ship, but slowly. Stay in the shadows. Jason controlled the engines. The black ship drifted through space, staying close to the big asteroids. They moved carefully, trying not to make any noise. The enemy ships kept following the moving asteroid. They did not see the black ship slipping away. Lydia watched the screen. We are almost clear. Nathan nodded. Keep going. The ship moved past the last big asteroid. Ahead was open space. If they could reach the next system, they would be safe. But then, an alarm rang. Jason looked at the screen. His face turned pale. One of the enemy ships is turning back. Nathan's heart pounded. Do they see us? Lydia checked the signals. Not yet, but they are close. Nathan clenched his fists. We need more speed. Jason shook his head. Engines are too weak. If we push too hard, they might fail. Nathan took a deep breath. Then we take a risk. Give it everything. Jason hesitated, then nodded. He pressed the controls. The engines roared. The black ship moved faster. The enemy ship turned fully. Its sensors picked up something. Lydia looked at the screen. They know we are here. Nathan gritted his teeth. Then we fight. The enemy ship fired. A bright beam shot through space. It missed, but it was close. Jason shouted, shields are weak. Another hit, and we are done. Nathan pointed at the enemy ship. Fire back. Lydia pressed the buttons. The black ship fired its weapons. The shots hit the enemy's shields. Sparks flew from their hull. The enemy ship fired again. This time, it hit. The black ship shook. Alarms rang. Smoke filled the air. Jason checked the damage. Engines are failing. Nathan gripped his chair. One more shot. Lydia fired again. The shots hit the enemy's weapons. One of their cannons exploded. The enemy ship slowed down. It was damaged, but still dangerous. Nathan turned to Jason. Can we jump to hyperspace? Jason checked the controls. It will be rough, but yes. Nathan gave the order. Do it now. Jason pressed the button. The engines roared. The stars outside stretched. The black ship jumped to hyperspace, escaping just in time. The crew let out a breath of relief. Lydia turned to Nathan. We made it. Nathan nodded. This time, but the fight is not over. The black ship moved through hyperspace. The stars outside stretched into long white lines. The ship was quiet. The crew sat in their chairs, breathing heavily. They had escaped, but only just. Nathan looked around. The damage was bad. Wires hung from the walls, and some screens were broken. Smoke still filled the air. He knew they could not keep running forever. Jason checked the engines. The jump was rough, he said. Engines need time to cool. If we push them again too soon, they might fail. Lydia wiped sweat from her forehead. How long do we have before they find us again? Nathan looked at the screen. Not long, he said. They will follow our trail. We need to find a place to hide. Lydia checked the navigation system. There is a planet nearby. It is small, covered in ice. It has no cities, no people. Nathan nodded. That will do. Set a course. Jason pressed some buttons. The ship changed direction. The stars outside shifted. The black ship moved toward the icy planet. Minutes passed. The crew sat in silence. Everyone was tired. The battle had drained them. Some closed their eyes, resting. Others worked on repairs, fixing what they could. Lydia looked at Nathan. What is the plan? We cannot run forever. Nathan sighed. We need to repair the ship. We need weapons, fuel, supplies. But most of all, we need to know why they are chasing us. Jason frowned. They want us dead. That is reason enough. Nathan shook his head. No. There is something more. They would not send so many ships for just one target. They want something we have. Lydia thought for a moment. The data. The files we took from the enemy base. Nathan nodded. That must be it. There is something in those files they do not want us to see. Jason looked at the control panel. We are almost there. The planet is in sight. Nathan stood up. Prepare for landing. We need to move fast. The black ship entered the planet's atmosphere. The ship shook as it passed through thick clouds. The sky was gray. Snow and ice covered the ground. The ship slowed and landed in a deep valley, hidden between two large ice mountains. Lydia checked the sensors. No signs of life. We are alone. Nathan exhaled. Good. Let's start repairs. Jason and a team of engineers left the ship. They worked on the engines, fixing broken parts. Lydia stayed on the bridge, checking for enemy signals. Nathan went to the storage room, counting supplies. Hours passed. The crew worked hard. The cold air made their fingers numb, but they kept going. Inside the ship, Lydia watched the radar. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. Then the alarm beeped. Lydia's heart raced. She pressed a button. Captain, we have a problem. Nathan ran to the bridge. What is it? Lydia pointed at the screen. A ship is coming. Nathan's eyes narrowed. Enemy. Lydia checked the signals. No, it is small. A scout ship. Nathan clenched his fists. They found us. Jason ran inside. Engines are still not ready. We cannot leave yet. Nathan looked at the screen. The scout ship was getting closer. If it saw them, it would call for backup. Nathan turned to Lydia. Can we stop it? Lydia frowned. We have one working turret, but it is weak. Nathan made a decision. We have to try. Lydia aimed the turret. The scout ship moved fast. It was searching. If it got too close, they would be seen. Nathan watched the screen. Wait for the right moment. The scout ship turned toward them. It was almost in range. Nathan's heart pounded. Now. Lydia fired. The shot hit the scout ship's wing. It spun out of control and crashed into the ice. Jason cheered. We got it. Nathan did not smile. No. Now they know we are here. Lydia looked at the screen. More signals appeared. Captain, she said. Enemy reinforcements are coming. Nathan clenched his fists. Then we get ready. This time, we fight. The black ship stood still in the valley of ice. The cold wind blew outside, covering the ground with white frost. Inside, the crew prepared for battle. They knew the enemy was coming. Nathan walked to the bridge. His face was calm, but his mind was racing. Lydia sat at the controls, scanning the sky. Jason stood near the weapons panel, ready to fire. The other crew members checked their stations. Lydia looked at the screen. 5 enemy ships are approaching. Nathan took a deep breath. We have no choice. We fight. Jason checked the ship's weapons. Shields are weak. We have limited power, but we can still fight. Nathan nodded. We must hold them off. If we can destroy 1 or 2, we might have a chance. Lydia pressed a button. The ship's engines warmed up. The black ship was ready. The first enemy ship entered the valley. It moved slowly, searching for them. Then the others followed. They spread out, surrounding the area. Nathan watched the screen. Wait for my signal. The enemy ships came closer. Their weapons glowed, ready to fire. Nathan's eyes narrowed. Now, Jason pressed the trigger. The black ship fired. A bright beam shot through the air and hit one of the enemy ships. It exploded in flames. The other enemy ships reacted quickly. They fired back. Red beams of light streaked across the sky. The black ship shook as it took a hit. Shields are failing. Lydia shouted. Keep firing. Nathan ordered. Jason aimed at the second enemy ship. He fired. The shot hit the enemy's engines. Sparks flew. The enemy ship spun out of control and crashed into the ice. 2 down, Jason shouted. The remaining ships fired again. The black ship shook hard. Smoke filled the bridge. We cannot take another hit, Lydia yelled. Nathan gritted his teeth. We have to move. Jason pressed the controls. The black ship lifted off the ground. It moved through the valley, dodging enemy fire. One of the enemy ships followed them. It was faster, closing in quickly. They are right behind us, Lydia warned. Nathan pointed at a mountain. Fly close to the cliff. Jason nodded. He steered the ship toward the ice mountain. The enemy ship followed, trying to keep up. Now pull up, Nathan ordered. Jason pulled the controls. The black ship shot upward, just in time. The enemy ship was too slow. It crashed into the mountain, breaking apart in a fiery blast. Only 2 left, Lydia said. The last 2 enemy ships stayed at a distance. They fired their weapons, trying to hit the black ship from far away. We need to get closer, Nathan said. Lydia, can you find a weak spot in their shields? Lydia checked the scanner. Their rear engines are exposed. If we hit them there, we can take them down. Nathan nodded. Jason, bring us behind them. Jason flew the black ship low, moving fast. The enemy did not expect it. The black ship came up behind one of them. Fire, Nathan commanded. Jason fired the weapons. The enemy ship exploded, leaving only 1 left. The last enemy ship hesitated. It did not fire. It turned, trying to escape. They are running, Lydia said. Nathan shook his head. We cannot let them go. If they escape, they will bring more reinforcements. Jason locked on to the enemy ship. I have them in range. Fire, Nathan said. Jason pressed the button. The black ship fired 1 last time. The shot hit the enemy ship's hull. It exploded into pieces. The battle was over. The crew let out a sigh of relief. Lydia checked the radar. No more enemy signals. We are safe for now. Nathan sat back in his chair. Good work, everyone. But we cannot stay here. We need to find a real hiding place. Jason nodded. Engines are still weak, but we can move. Lydia checked the navigation. There is a small moon nearby. It has caves. We can hide there and make repairs. Nathan agreed. Set a course. The black ship lifted off and left the icy valley. The crew was tired, but they had won the fight. Now they had to prepare for the next battle, because the enemy would return, and next time they would be stronger. The black ship moved through space, heading toward the small moon. The crew was tired but focused. They had won the battle, but they knew the enemy would return. They needed to hide and repair the ship before it was too late. Lydia checked the scanner. The moon is close. We will arrive in a few minutes. Nathan looked at the screen. The moon was small and dark, covered in rocky caves. It was the perfect place to hide. Jason, take us in slowly, Nathan said. Jason nodded. He controlled the ship carefully, moving toward the moon's surface. The ship shook slightly as it entered the thin atmosphere. Lydia checked the sensors. No signs of life. We are alone. Nathan sighed in relief. Good. Find a cave where we can land. Jason flew low, searching for a safe place. He found a large cave near a mountain. The entrance was wide, big enough for the ship to fit inside. This will do, Jason said. He guided the black ship inside the cave. The ship landed softly on the rocky ground. The crew let out a breath of relief. Nathan stood up. All right, let's get to work. We need to repair the ship and check our supplies. Lydia and Jason nodded. The crew split into teams. Some worked on the engines, fixing the damage from the battle. Others checked the weapons, making sure they were ready for another fight. Nathan walked to the storage room. He counted the food and water supplies. They had enough for a few weeks, but not much more. They needed to find a way to resupply soon. Lydia worked on the communication system. I can try to send a message to our allies, but if the enemy is listening, they might find us. Nathan thought for a moment. We have to take the risk. Send a short message. Keep it simple. Lydia nodded. She typed a quick message and sent it. Then she shut down the system to avoid being traced. Jason entered the room. Engines are stable, but we need more power. If we want to escape quickly, we need to fix the generator. Nathan frowned. How long will it take? Jason sighed. At least a day, maybe more. Nathan nodded. Do what you can. We don't have much time. The crew continued working. Hours passed. The cave was cold and quiet. Outside, the dark sky was filled with stars. The black ship sat hidden in the shadows. Then an alarm beeped. Lydia checked the scanner. Her face turned pale. We have a problem. Nathan rushed to the control panel. What is it? Lydia pointed at the screen. A ship is approaching. It is not enemy, but we do not know who it is. Jason clenched his fists. Could be scavengers. Could be bounty hunters. Nathan's jaw tightened, or it could be someone looking for us. The unknown ship slowed down. It hovered above the cave, scanning the area. They know something is here, Lydia whispered. Nathan made a decision. We stay quiet. No lights, no movement. If they don't see us, they might leave. The crew held their breath. The ship above moved slowly. Minutes passed. It felt like hours. Then the ship turned away. It disappeared into the sky. Jason let out a sigh. That was close. Nathan nodded. Too close. Lydia checked the scanner again. No more ships. For now. Nathan rubbed his temples. We cannot stay here for long. As soon as the ship is ready, we move. The crew continued their work. Time was running out. They knew the enemy was still searching. And next time, they might not be so lucky. The black ship moved through space, heading toward the small moon. The crew was tired but focused. They had won the battle, but they knew the enemy would return. They needed to hide and repair the ship before it was too late. Lydia checked the scanner. The moon is close. We will arrive in a few minutes. Nathan looked at the screen. The moon was small and dark, covered in rocky caves. It was the perfect place to hide. Jason, take us in slowly, Nathan said. Jason nodded. He controlled the ship carefully, moving toward the moon's surface. The ship shook slightly as it entered the thin atmosphere. Lydia checked the sensors. No signs of life. We are alone. Nathan sighed in relief. Good. Find a cave where we can land. Jason flew low, searching for a safe place. He found a large cave near a mountain. The entrance was wide, big enough for the ship to fit inside. This will do, Jason said. He guided the black ship inside the cave. The ship landed softly on the rocky ground. The crew let out a breath of relief. Nathan stood up. All right, let's get to work. We need to repair the ship and check our supplies. Lydia and Jason nodded. The crew split into teams. Some worked on the engines, fixing the damage from the battle. Others checked the weapons, making sure they were ready for another fight. Nathan walked to the storage room. He counted the food and water supplies. They had enough for a few weeks, but not much more. They needed to find a way to resupply soon. Lydia worked on the communication system. I can try to send a message to our allies, but if the enemy is listening, they might find us. Nathan thought for a moment. We have to take the risk. Send a short message. Keep it simple. Lydia nodded. She typed a quick message and sent it. Then she shut down the system to avoid being traced. Jason entered the room. Engines are stable, but we need more power. If we want to escape quickly, we need to fix the generator. Nathan frowned. How long will it take? Jason sighed. At least a day, maybe more. Nathan nodded. Do what you can. We don't have much time. The crew continued working. Hours passed. The cave was cold and quiet. Outside, the dark sky was filled with stars. The black ship sat hidden in the shadows. Then an alarm beeped. Lydia checked the scanner. Her face turned pale. We have a problem. Nathan rushed to the control panel. What is it? Lydia pointed at the screen. A ship is approaching. It is not enemy, but we do not know who it is. Jason clenched his fists. Could be scavengers. Could be bounty hunters. Nathan's jaw tightened, or it could be someone looking for us. The unknown ship slowed down. It hovered above the cave, scanning the area. They know something is here, Lydia whispered. Nathan made a decision. We stay quiet. No lights, no movement. If they don't see us, they might leave. The crew held their breath. The ship above moved slowly. Minutes passed. It felt like hours. Then the ship turned away. It disappeared into the sky. Jason let out a sigh. That was close. Nathan nodded. Too close. Lydia checked the scanner again. No more ships. For now. Nathan rubbed his temples. We cannot stay here for long. As soon as the ship is ready, we move. The crew continued their work. Time was running out. They knew the enemy was still searching, and next time, they might not be so lucky.